there's this journey within. In the Old Covenant, they would have the tabernacle, which had 3 sections to it, okay? Outer court, inner court, and the Holy of Holies. And it was symbolic of God's triune nature, man's triune nature, and the pathway of entering the presence of God. Yes, it's completely open forever by the blood of Jesus Christ, but experientially, not many of us get there and stay there. We do quick visits maybe once in a while. And I learned that years ago, and I started practicing his presence so I would develop spiritual senses and habits to keep me close to the very presence of God. Protect me from becoming religious. Protect me from being self-indulgent. Those 3 sections are very similar to what Jesus referred to when it comes to the 3 dimensions of prayer. Ask, seek, knock. And when you're knocking on his door, you have to wait till he opens it, because he's the king. You get an invitation, and he'll open the door. That's when you and I get to go in. And we'll have to wait on the Lord. And I say, and I will say it again, wait on the Lord, and you shall renew your strength. Here's your prophetic word for the day. The reason, so I asked the Lord, I said, why is everyone so wore out? On purpose is the impression I got. It was all on purpose. I'm not done. So I was like, on purpose, this impression before the Lord. Yes, why? Check this out. Original sin is independent of God. That's the essence of sin, is being independent of God. That's what Satan offered them. You could be like God, meaning you won't need him. You can do this on your own. So he's allowed and accommodated the work of hell this last 4 or 5 years to get his people back to being completely dependent on him. And when that happens, your strength is renewed because you've entered the presence of God. You've entered the shelter. Oh, God. You've entered the shelter of the Most High when you've waited on the Lord, and no evil shall befall you. Oh, my. That's someone get it? Who got it? Because I felt that leave. Psalm 91. Entering the shelter is at the depths of God, where you're not praying with your mouth or even in tongues. Your spirit is calling to him, and you've waited and waited, and then he opens the door and you get to go in, and you lose you. You go from self-conscious to no conscious, or just God-conscious, just filled with God. No, you can whimper before him as his glory is squeezing the life out of your flesh, and you just can barely stay alive. That's the feelings I get when I'm there. I'm afraid I'm going to die when I'm in that presence. There's no fake stuff here. That's reality for me. So I know when I enter there, because I feel like if he doesn't uphold me, I'm going to die. That's the presence I'm talking about, the manifested presence of his Shekinah, his Shekinah glory. And that's where we change. That's where things completely change for a lifetime. A lifetime. You'll never be the same if you've been there. You will never, ever, ever be the same again once you've been in that room with him. Ever. And we need to wait. So right now, many of us are tired because we haven't waited for him to open the door to enter the shelter of the Most High, where no evil can befall us. No enemy can come near what? Our dwelling. Because why? It's his dwelling. It's his house.